So our chapter is chemical reaction and equation. So we have the first question in this sequence. The reaction between the aqueous solution of sodium chloride and the silver nitrate is. So firstly, we will write the symbolic equation of both these reactants. So the reaction will be sodium chloride and silver nitrate. So what you can see here, Na will react with NO3 and Ag will combine with Cl. So what we will get in the product side, we will get AgCl precipitate and NaNO3 in the product side. So what you have observed in this equation, the Na will combine with NO3 and Ag will form the reaction with Cl. It means Ag will combine with Cl and Na will combine with NO3. And we are obtaining two products here. The AgCl will be obtained in precipitate form. So there is a mutual exchange between the two kind of atoms or ion. If there is a mutual exchange between two atoms or ion, we can consider these equations as double displacement. So the correct answer for this solution will be double displacement. We have on our question number 2, CH4 plus Cl2 reacts to give CH3Cl plus HCl. The reaction is an example of. So what we have considered in this equation, this chlorine will combine with CH3 and H will be displaced from the equation. So this is a kind of displacement equation in which one chlorine atom is combined with CH3 and again other chlorine atom will be displaced from the reaction. So this kind of reaction are known as displacement reaction. So the correct answer is option number C. Now we are on our third question. A brown and bright element X, when heated in the presence of air, turns into the black substance Y. If hydrogen gas is passed through heating material, X and Y is obtained. So we have a brown and bright element, that is X. We have brown and bright element this element is X. Now what will happen? We burn it in the presence of air. So we are burning it in the presence of air. So what will happen in this case? We will obtain a black substance Y. So the product obtained is Y, that is black substance. We have to identify the X and Y. If the substance is brown and bright in color, it means it must be copper. So it must be copper. If I am going to heat copper in the presence of oxygen, what I will get here? I will get here copper oxide. So the correct answer here will be Cu and CuO, that is copper and copper oxide. So here option number A will be the correct answer for this equation. Now we are on our next question. H2S plus Cl2 gives 2HCl plus S. The reaction is interpreted as. So look at here, what we can see in this equation. H2S will give HCl and Cl2 will eliminate from the reaction and combine with Cl. So it means there is an addition of electronegative element and sulfur is eliminated in the reaction. So there is a removal of electronegative element and there is an addition of electronegative element. So this kind of reaction can be regarded as oxidation, and the second equation can be considered as a reduction reaction. So we can say that H2O is getting oxidized and Cl2 is getting reduced. So the correct option is option number A. So we have our correct option, that is option number A. Now we are on our next question. Oxidation is defined as we have already discussed in our chapter that oxidation is defined as a loss of electron. So here the option number A is correct according to the electronic concept. So our correct answer is option number A. Now we are on our next question. from the following metal whose nitrate produces NO2 gas on heating. Now, if I consider the following options here, Na will not going to produce nitrate gas on heating. Potassium will also not produce the NO2 gas on heating. So the correct option here will be lead. If I am going to heat the lead, it will produce the NO2 gas in the solution. So the correct option is option number C. So here the correct option is PB. Now we are on our next question. Displacement reaction is. So what actually the displacement reaction is? Displacement reaction is a reaction in which the more active metal in the reaction will going to displace the less active metal. So I am considering all these options one by one. CaO plus H2O gives CaOH whole twice. It means this kind of reaction is addition because there is an addition of element. Second, Pb plus CuCl2 combines with PbCl2 and gives Cu. It means Pb being more active replace the chloride in the solution. This kind of equation can be considered as a displacement reaction. So the correct option is option number B. So here the correct option will be the B because there is an exchange between only single kind of the atom. Now we are on our next question. Which of the following is a endothermic reaction? So students, we have discussed about the two set of the reactions in our chapter, that is exothermic one and endothermic one. Exothermic reactions are those reactions in which the heat is evolved out, and endothermic reactions are those reactions in which heat is taken to accomplish the reaction. So among the following equation, I am considering the equations one by one. If I am considering the case of C plus O2 CO2, so carbon dioxide is formed with the evolution of heat. This is a kind of exothermic reaction. If I am taking another example, N2 plus O2 gives 2NO, it means formation of nitrogen oxide is a kind of endothermic reaction, and the energy required here will be 43200 joule. So the correct option will be option number B because negative sign always indicate that the reaction will be the endothermic in nature. Now, I hope this question will be easily understandable by you. Now we are on our next question. Precipitation formation during the chemical reaction is indicated by the arrow. Now, if in any reaction precipitate is formed, we will always indicate it by the downward arrow. So here option number C is correct. Now we have our next question in the sequence. BaCl2 plus Na2SO4 gives BaSO4 plus NaCl. What kind of reaction it is? So look at here, we are provided with many options here. In this kind of equation, barium combined with sulfate and chlorine combined with Na. It means there is a mutual exchange between two kind of atom. If there is a mutual exchange between two kind of atom, we can say that the reaction is double displacement. Now we have to select the pair from this equation. If I am going to perform this kind of reaction, I will get the barium sulfate in the PPT form, that we will obtain the precipitates of BaSO4. So BaSO4 will be obtained in PPT form. So this kind of reaction can also be considered in the category of precipitation reaction. So from the above options, the correct option is precipitation and double displacement. So B and D is the correct answer. So option number D is correct here. Now we are on our next question. The chemical reaction HNO3 plus KOH gives KNO3 plus H2O is a kind of reaction. So we have the reaction here. HNO3 plus KOH gives. Now look at here, we are provided with one acid and one base. This is acid and this is base. HNO3 is the nitric acid and OH here is a base. So what we will obtain here? We will obtain here salt and this thing is water. So the reactions in which acid react with base to give salt and water are considered as a neutralization reaction. So the first category will be the neutralization reaction. Now what happens in this case? K react with NO3 and OH react with H2O. It means there is a mutual exchange between two kind of atoms. H will form a reaction with OH and NO3 gets combined with K. It means there is a mutual exchange between the two kind of elements here. So we can also say that this reaction is double displacement. So the correct answer will be neutralization and double displacement. So students, here option number C is correct. If you want to copy it, please copy it now. Now, hydrolysis of a water is which of the type of the following equation? So, we are doing hydrolysis of water. Hydrolysis means H2O when heated will going to produce H2 plus O2. Now for balancing this equation, I am putting 2 over here and 2 here, and 2H2 plus O2 will be obtained in the gaseous form. So what will happen in this kind of equation? There will be the decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen. So the hydrolysis of water is a kind of decomposition reaction. So the correct answer is decomposition. But we can also see here in hydrolysis of water, there will be the absorption of some amount of energy. If energy will be absorbed here, we will indicate it by the negative sign. So it can also be endothermic reaction. So both the option endothermic and decomposition is correct. So here option number C will be the correct answer, that is both A and B. Now we are on our next question. When a burning splinter is brought near the gas jar containing hydrogen gas, a popping sound is observed. So what will happen if we bring any container and popping sound is produced in the reaction? That popping sound will be of the hydrogen gas and it indicates that the reaction will be So we are on our next question. When a burning splinter is brought near the gas jar containing hydrogen gas, a popping sound is observed due to. If hydrogen gas is evolved out with a popping sound, we can identify it by that heat is evolved in this equation. So the reaction will be the exothermic in nature. So here option number A will be the correct answer. Now we are on our next question. Identify the correct oxidant and reductant in the following equation. Now, if there is an addition of oxygen, we can say that the reaction is oxidation reaction. But if there is a removal of oxygen, we can say that the reaction is reduction reaction. Now what will happen in this case? Lead sulfide react with H2O2 to give PbSO4 plus 4H2O. We can see here oxygen is combined in this equation. It means there is an addition of oxygen. If I am considering second set of equation, 4H2O2 will give 4H2O. It means there is a removal of oxygen. So there will be the addition of oxygen and there will be the removal of oxygen. So the agent which help in the oxidation is known as reducing agent, and the agent which accomplish the process of removal of oxygen is considered as a oxidant agent. So in both the cases, PbS is reductant and PbSO4 is oxidant, because it helps in oxidation and it helps in reduction. So the correct answer here will be PbS will form PbSO4, so it will help in the reduction, and 4H2O2 will form 4H2O, so H2O2 is considered as a oxidant. So this option, their option which is correct here is option number C, because PbS will act as a reductant and H2O2 will act as an oxidant. The component which help in reduction is termed as oxidant and the component which help in oxidation is termed as a reductant. So here correct option is option number C. Now we are on our next question. Match the given column 1 with column number 2 as a correct option. Now we will consider these equations one by one. 2 Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO. It means this type of reaction is oxidation reaction because oxygen is combined in this equation. So our first equation, 2 Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO, is a kind of oxidation reaction. Now we are on our second equation, CaO plus H2O gives CaOH whole twice. So CaO plus H2O is going to give CaOH whole twice. So this kind of equation in which calcium hydroxide is formed, it means lime react with water to give lime water. This is a kind of reaction in which the heat is evolved out. The process in which heat is evolved out is termed as exothermic reactions. Now our third equation is 2 AgCl gives 2 Ag plus Cl2. 2 AgCl will give 2 Ag plus Cl2. So what we can observe here, silver chloride breaks into silver and chlorine. So it is a kind of decomposition reaction. Now last equation is CuO plus H2 gives Cu plus H2O. So in this case what has happened? Oxygen is removed from copper oxide. So the removal of oxygen is termed as reduction reaction. So in this equation there is an addition of oxygen, so oxidation. In this equation there is a removal of heat, so it is exothermic reaction. In this equation there is a decomposition of silver chloride. In this equation there is a removal of oxygen, so the removal of oxygen is termed as reduction reaction. So we have correct option A4, B1, C2 and D3. So this will be the correct sequence of the answers. So among all these options, we have option number D is correct. A4, B1, C2 and D3. So the correct option is option number D. If you want to copy it, please copy it now. Now we are on our next question. Identify the type of the reaction in the following cases. So first is compound break into the elements. If some compound is broken into some sort of elements, this type of reaction can be considered as decomposition reaction. Metal and non-metal react to form ionic compound. If there is a formation of some sort of compound, the reactions are considered as addition reaction. These topics we have already discussed in our chapter, so I hope this might be possible to understand by you. Compound of hydrogen and carbon react with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. So in this equation, compound of hydrogen and carbon is going to produce oxygen, carbon dioxide and water. So this type of reaction is displacement 1. Now, our next question is, silver ion from AgNO3 forms a precipitate with bromide ion from KBr aqueous solution. So, silver nitrate is forming precipitate in this equation. So, we can consider it in the category of double displacement 1. So, this kind of equation will be the double displacement reaction. Now, in this equation, hydrogen and carbon react with oxygen. So, on reacting with hydrogen and carbon in the presence of oxygen, the reaction can be considered as a combustion one, because the combustion will always take place in the presence of oxygen. So, here it is a combustion reaction. So, what is happening in all four cases? A compound breaks. Breaks means there will be a decomposition reaction. Metal and non-metal are reacting to form the ionic compound. So, this is an addition reaction, and sometimes addition reaction is also known as combination reaction. So, we can also write here combination reaction. Now, compound of hydrogen and carbon react with oxygen. So, oxygen is used in this reaction. So, it is a sort of combustion reaction. And the last one, silver ion from AgNO3 forms a precipitate. So, it will be the double displacement reaction. So, first will match with Q, second will match with P, and third option will match with T, and the fourth option will match with double displacement reaction. So, I can write as first will match with Q, second reaction will match with P, third reaction will match with T, and the fourth reaction will match with S. So, the correct answer is QPTS and 1, 2, 3, 4. So, the correct option here will be option number B. Now, we are on our next question. Container made of copper metal on exposure to air for long time turns green. The green layer is due to. It means if the container of the copper react with oxygen, what it is going to form? It will form CuCO3.CuOH whole twice, which is green colored coating. So, this green color coating will be formed. So, the compound will be CuCO3.CuOH whole twice. Now, our next question is, All of the following processes involve the separation of either a mixture of component or compound. We have to identify whether the physical process or chemical reaction is required or not. So we are given with 5 equations and we have to identify them. Sodium metal is obtained from the substance called sodium chloride. If I am obtaining NaCl from NaCl, this kind of change is a physical change. So the correct answer here is, this kind of change is a chemical change, because fractional distillation will be done in this process. Iron fillings separated from sand. If I am separating iron fillings from the sand, there is a no change in the chemical properties, it is only a physical process. So this kind of process is a physical process. Sugar crystals are separated from sugar syrup by the evaporation of water. If I am separating sugar crystals from sugar by evaporation, there is change in only the physical condition. So this kind of change is again a physical process. Fine crystals of silver chloride are separated from the suspension of the crystals in water. Now, fine crystals of silver chloride are separated. So, if there is a separation, there is no chemical involved and there is no change in the chemical properties of a substance throughout. So, this kind of reaction is again considered in the category of physical processes. Last question is, copper is produced when the zinc metal is placed in a solution of copper sulfate. It means there is a formation of new compound which have the properties different from the previous one. This kind of change is considered in the category of chemical change. So, among all these, B, C, D are the physical processes and A and E are the chemical one. So, the correct option from this sequence will be B, C, D are the physical processes and A and E are the chemical one. So, the correct option here will be option number C. Now, we are on our last question. Addition of HCl to the aqueous solution of PbNO3 gives a. If I am given with PbNO3 solution and I am adding HCl to it, what I am getting here will be PbCl and HNO3. The lead chloride precipitate we are obtaining here will be in yellow color. So, the correct option here will be the yellow precipitates. So, here are the some of the important questions from the competitive exam point of view that we have discussed. I hope you can easily understand these questions. So, this lecture is over for today. Thank you so much and have a nice day.